Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fauzia Tunisa. I'm from Group 4. I and my friend will be presenting about reading and writing for young learner. We have 4 presenter and I'm as the first presenter that will explain about reading. Okay, the first point is about definition of reading. Before that, do you know what's reading? Okay, reading is an activity that can add someone knowledge about important news and also about vocabulary items. In the other way, reading is a process of constructing meaning from the written text. Okay, the second point is about why we must reading. The second point is about reason for reading or why we must reading. As a teacher, there are many reasons why getting students to read text is an important part of the teacher jobs. There are 3 points about why we must reading. The first one is to be able to read text in English, and then add vocabulary knowledge, and then the last one is provide good models for English writing. If you less understand with what you read, you just need to more you read, that the better you get at it. The more you read, the better you get at it. Okay, the last point is the different kinds of reading. There are 2 different kinds of reading. The first one is extensive reading or ER, and then the last one is intensive reading. Extensive reading is we can say covers large area. The third point is about different kinds of reading. There are 2 different kinds of reading. The first one is extensive reading or ER, and then the intensive reading. Extensive reading or covers large area is an approach to second language reading. When teacher read extensively, they read very easy, enjoyable books to build their reading speed and fluency. In another way, extensive reading is learn to read but actually reading, rather than examining text by studying the vocabulary, grammar, and phrase. The second one is intensive reading. Intensive reading is the learners study the reading and check their comprehension, or we can say intensive reading is reading in detail with specific learning aim and task. Okay, for the next point, we'll be presenting by my partner.
Now I will explain about the level of reading. There are 3 levels of reading. First, the reading material must be authentic. It must be the kind of material that students will need and want to be able to read the material when traveling, studying abroad, or using language in other contexts outside the classroom. 2. The reading purpose must be authentic. Students must be reading for reason that makes sense and have no relevance to them. 3. The reading approach must be authentic. Students should read the text in a way that matches the reading purpose, the type of text, and the way people normally read. Okay, next, the reading skill. Skimming, scanning, and critical reading are different styles of reading and information processing. Problem between reading and young learners is read too slowly, don't have enough vocabulary, get frustrated, bored, and would rather watch TV or play video games. And how do we get children excited about reading? Is let them choose the material that they want to read. Provide them interesting material, read to them, and connect reading to other skills. Next, I will explain about three methods for teaching reading. First, the phonic method. This method is concerned with helping child, a child learn how to break words down into sounds. 2. The whole word approach. This method is teach reading at the word level. 3. The language experience method. This method learning to read nonsense word. Okay.
Okay, B. Writing for young learners. Writing is an integral skill of successful second language learning. Or writing is process from gathering ideas to checking what has been written. MC Dinov and Shaw 2004 defined writing as a vessel for language practice and further add that attempt to communicate with the right idea and do. Students have to go through a structured process of writing. In classroom, writing activity can be done in group or individually. According to learn level, teaching can design the writing test. To make the process fruitful, teacher should make the learn motivate. For learning or teaching second language to young learners, motivation is an important factor to achieve success. Various studies have shown that motivation is strongly related to achievement in language learning. Neyman, 1978, author of a classic study of successful language learning, defined certain typical characteristics of motivation second language learning in irrespective of this age. Some of these are number one, positive task orientation. Learner is willing to tackle tasks and challenge and has confidence in his or her success. Number two, ego involvement. The learner find it important to success in learning in order to maintain and from it his or her own self-image. Number three, need for experiment. The learner has a need to exceed, to overcome difficult and success in what he or she set up to do. And number four, high aspiration. The learner is ambitious, goes for a demanding challenge, high profession.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Meldina. I will explain about writing as a process. The writing process consists of the step we take when we produce a piece of writing. The process may include some or all of the following. First, brainstorming. Brainstorming is making a note of idea, words, and phrases related to the topic in the order they come to mind. Next, planning. Planning is categorizing and ordering the idea according to the task. Next, drafting. Drafting is a first attempt to write the idea as a continuous text. Next, revising. Revising is deciding how to improve the first draft in terms of both content and accuracy. Next, rewriting. Rewriting is writing the text again, include the improvements. I will explain about how do you teach writing to young learners. There are some tips for improving teach writing to young learners. First, pay attention to the writing process by providing opportunities for learners to brainstorm, plan, draft, and revise. Remember that young learners will perhaps not use that strategy yet, even in their own language. Many of these may be class or group activities, which can help make writing a less lonely process. Next, give learners something to write about. Pictures are a particularly good way to provide content. Example, a picture is a text for while the learner provides the words. Next, choose topic. Next, set the writing task itself as homework if time is short, but always try to find time for some preparation work in class. Next, give the children the opportunity to become involved with their writing. For example, let them choose to be character in their narrative. Next, be prepared for mixed ability. For example, have extension tasks for students who finish early, like adding a pass to their letter. Next, choose topic which the children can relate their own experience. For example, in playground, animal, or the color. Uh, Next, stimulate young learners' creativity by putting familiar things together in an unfamiliar way. For example, animals and hotel. Ask students to describe a scan a hotel for animals. Next, make sure the learners will be able to the task with the language level they have.